Hi, my name is Andrea Geisler and I'm presenting on special needs groups and disasters. Preparedness. So preparing for the worst is always the best idea, but what if someone is physically or mentally unable to do so? Maybe they have a broken leg or other sort of injury that makes it difficult for them to get around. They might be elderly and are just unable to take care of themselves. They may have some sort of cognitive limitation, like mental illness, Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that. Maybe they have some sort of debilitating disease, like late-stage cancer or Lou Gehrig's disease, which is also known as ALS. What if they need to evacuate? So special needs groups, like those mentioned previously, do have shelters specifically for them. And aside from the usual food and water and bedding that is sometimes provided, these shelters also have specialized medical equipment available, like oxygen tanks, dialysis machines, things like that, as well as staff who are able to help them with their medical needs. Now, before evacuation, they need to prepare. FEMA recommends those with special needs prepare lists of items they may need, as well as people to contact, basically who's going to take care of them or take them to a shelter, things like that. That, of course, is if the special needs person is able to do so, if they're not usually the family member that usually takes care of them, makes these arrangements. There are so many details. There are millions of Americans with special needs, and for them, preparation is more than just going to Walmart to grab bread, water, batteries, candles, things like that. They need to think about their daily needs. Personal care service, like in-home health care, nurses or CNAs, basically people who come in a couple times a day to help them bathe, eat, dress, things like that. Do they need them to come to their house after an emergency, or do they need them to take them to the shelter or come with them to the shelter? They need to make sure they have some sort of plan for when the power goes out. Well, if the power goes out, how are they going to get water if there's no electricity? Do they need help preparing food? Many illnesses make it difficult or impossible to prepare anything other than popping something into the microwave. Do they need to worry about any equipment run by electricity? If Mr. Hawking's here, if his chair runs out of juice, how's he going to get around? These are only some of what these people need to think about. Transportation is another one. They might only be able to get around in a handicapped equipped van. Those things are big and difficult to maneuver, especially through debris, like in the picture. What if they rely on public special needs transports? They're not going to be able to come to their house to take care of them if they can't travel down the roads. They need to plan for that. So these are all things that those with special needs or their families need to think about when it comes to disaster preparation. But there's good news. They're not all on their own. If they register with emergency services in their town in the event of an emergency, if they're not accounted for in some way, the emergency management will know that they need to check on them. So that is my presentation. Here are my resources.